Hey, this is Marcus Kahn at Modern Spartan Systems. We want to thank Talking Lead and wish them the best, and they're doing great. 300 episodes and going. We want like 300 more.
And we are back with another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. This is episode 308. 308. Not to be confused with 762 by 51. And in case you didn't get the opportunity to listen to the previous episode, episode 307, make sure you go back. We had an awesome show with our good buddy Charlie Melton and Brad Starr with Performance Guns. We were talking about our trip out to Utah, where Charlie attempted his world record long rifle shot of 6,500 yards with a .408 Tejas. And we talked about that with Brad and Charlie. And we also had Guy Connor with Fordham Tactical. And we had J-Mac with Right On Optics joining us as well. Had a great show there. Took care of some Jackwagons. Did our new segment, the Talking Lead Force 1 Lefty's Heroes. Find out who made the plane, who made the train last week. We're going to do that again this week. And joining me to help bring in some Jackwagons and take care of some Lefty's Heroes, and he's also got some good news for you lead heads, something that you're definitely going to want to take advantage of. We've got our good buddy and sponsor of the show, Marcus Kahn with Modern Spartan Systems. Welcome in, Marcus.
Hey, Marty, thank you. It's good to be back. Always love being on your show and being around lead heads. It's a great crowd of peeps, and we get to take over the world, and everything will be fine then.
That's right, man. We get everybody on our page, and the world will be right. But we've got these Jackwagons that, stomp on our plans from time to time, and we have to call them out. But before we get into that, we got to thank all the sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast. Right On Optics, the official optics of Talking Lead. Last episode, if you didn't catch it, spoiler alert, they are going to be releasing a pistol red dot. Don't have a release date on that yet, but it is coming. J-Mac did confirm that. So something to look forward to from Right On Optics. Check them out at rightonoptics.com. X-Steel Targets.
X-Steel Targets.
The best, most affordable AR-500 steel targets on the market today are X-Steel Targets. I made a post, and I hope you guys are taking advantage of it. They are running an overstock sale right now on their AR-500 gongs, the 8-inch gongs, 3 8-inch AR-500 8-inch gongs. There's a coupon code that we posted. Use the code 2MANY8, the number 2, M-A-N-Y, and 8, the number 8, and you're going to get 50% off, no limit. So this is an awesome time to stock that range. If you're building a new range or you need to replace some of the targets on your range, go do that now. Take advantage of this X-Steel Target special deal they're doing over there. Bud and the gang. And then, of course, while you're there, check out all their other awesome targets that they've got. The silhouette targets, the, what do they call? The spinning stars.
Spinning stars.
I think they're called spinning stars. I think that's what they're called. They've got the reactive targets. Check them out. They got anything, everything you need. And if you don't see something there, they can custom make targets for you. xsteeltargets.com. And then, of course, Modern Spartan Systems. We've got the man himself, Marcus, with us today. What's the latest and greatest going on with Modern Spartan Systems?
We're finally getting close to the point where we're going to have some good breakouts with the firearm products. We're actually setting up to bring on reps in each state. And so far we're in Utah. We're just going into Arizona now, and then we're going to go Texas and a whole bunch of other states out west. And okay. I think it's gonna grow. That's
now. Are you looking for sales reps? Is there a place where the lead heads can go and
we're
send you an application?
Looking for Application is you got to be a motivated self-starter. You've got to understand firearms. You got to be able to learn our products, which is not rocket science, but once people understand and get excited about what our stuff does to firearms that nothing else can do, basically bring them from a B gun to an A gun to A plus gun, which you can get verified by anybody that's using this stuff, even like Brad and Charlie, the exact same thing. Yep.
And me.
So, yeah, we're looking for some really good, motivated people.
And where do they go? How can they send you their resume? Is there an application they can fill out?
We just need to talk. This is all about relationships. So they can shoot me an email, the intro email, and with some information, and then we'll set up a time to talk. But my info, here's to Marcus, Marcus, Marcus at modernspartansystems.com. You can send me what they want.
There you go, lead heads. If anybody's looking for an awesome career in the firearms industry.
It's actually more than that too, because when the reps we're looking for and what's going on in the company, of course we got the transportation, the engine gearbox products, the TBT, that can go into a lot of places, from trucking companies to any fleets or heavy equipment, all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
Then we've got the other thing that's pretty exciting is our industrial products. We've been working for last 3 years to re-perfect our water soluble CNC coolant formula, and in doing so, it's been a little bit of a challenge, but in doing so, we get a much better product. The one we initially started out was good, but it's about double the effectiveness, and we were able to lower the cost quite a bit. And so now we've got TAD on all our machining, manufacturing products, the machine cutting oil and the CNC formula and the grease are now available. So we're talking with some big companies. I don't want to say who. It probably not smart from the legal side, but we're talking about multi-billion dollar a year companies that are interested and now can start doing testing, and I think it's going to break out real soon.
Very cool. So there's some opportunities there. Anybody looking for an awesome job, like I said, check them out. Get in touch with Marcus, and you guys can talk. Maybe it'll be a match. But Marcus, you know what I hear right now?
What do you hear?
I hear, and it's using TBT engine oil additive. Talking Lead Jackwagon Train is rolling in. So, Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
So we got Jackwagons, evil people that want to rain on our parade and bring our country down and stop guns and all the horrible things that guns do. Like
try to impede on our constitutional rights and our God-given rights. That's absolutely right. And our first one, and last week, I said I was going to go back and thank everybody who sent them in, and I forgot. So everybody from last week, Old Tennessean, Ed Burton, Mark with a C, Alex, Jason, Jonathan, all you guys, thank you for sending in those Jackwagons from last week. I apologize for not getting your names right on those. But we had a lot, and it was hard for me to sort through those. So this week, got a couple coming from you lead heads. Let's see, our first one, I think I'll do this, and it's the suppressor bands. So suppressor bands are gun control's latest noisy response. And this is on the InsideSource.com, and looks like Lawrence Keene is the author of this. It says, cover your ears, you're not going to want to hear this. Elected officials are attempting to set national firearm policy based on spy fiction movies instead of facts. What else is new? U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat, New Jersey, introduced the Help Empower Americans to Respond. That's right, HERE Act. That would ban the sale, possession, and confiscate firearm suppressors. Menendez said the tragic Virginia Beach murder spurred his ban proposal, claiming suppressors mask the sound of gunfire like what is commonly portrayed in James Bond movies. Menendez once again demonstrates his anti-gun agenda instead of pursuing policies that add to the public safety. Menendez's bill ignores not just scientific facts, but eyewitness accounts of the Virginia Beach tragedy, which it is. He's not using any kind of scientific data to back this up with. He's using fictional movies for this act, this here act. Goes on to say the murderer committed his crimes using 2 legally purchased firearms, only one of which was fitted with a legally purchased suppressor. Menendez referenced only a single handgun with a suppressor, overlooking police accounts of the other handgun. He also claims that unsuppressed firearms would have saved more lives by alerting more to the danger, but that contrasts with the account of Virginia Beach Police Chief James Cervera. He explained responding police officers followed the sound of gunfire to locate and eventually neutralize the murderer. So, it did nothing to prevent people from hearing it. Obviously, that's how the police found and located where the shots were coming from. So this guy's just an idiot, He's again using a tragedy to try to further his political agenda, his get some political points, coming up with a catchy act name, help empower Americans to respond. And this article goes on and on. You guys can read it, but basically it goes, this Lawrence Keene writes about how way off base this guy is. We need to oppose this, so don't let this get any legs. This is Bob Menendez, Democrat, New Jersey, that introduced the HERE Act.
That guy, you watch Fox News, the other news channels, the fake news, they don't tell you anything, but that guy should have lost his run because he was doing a lot of other corrupt stuff, and I think he was, I don't remember the details, but basically he is making money off the system like all these career politicians, and they've got no principles, They got no morals. It's all about talking to their base and getting emotion, and you're right, they don't deal in facts. So really they just got to be confronted and put in their place, because they're really nothing but
you fight them with facts. You fight them with the facts and what's actual and with science, and that's how you do it. The fact of the matter is suppressors are good for our environment, our communities. Well, and speaking of suppressors, modern Spartan system also has a product for suppressors to help them run cleaner, right?
That's right. If you get the kit and a new suppressor or one that's either clean or cleanable, and you use it, it'll make it clean up 90% easier all the time. You can use it indefinitely. We want to keep them clean so they work right. So get the kit. But yeah, you're right. These guys don't know what they're talking about, and they just try to misinform everybody else. And you're right. Facts are facts, and they can't stand up to facts. So they need more John Lotts and other good people like you and everyone else telling the truth.
So let's go to another jackwagon here. California gun sales surged in June before ammo ID law took effect. So as we've reported on the show here, and all you lead heads know, most of you know, California invoked a law that you have to do a little background check, show ID, do all that before you can get your ammunition. Sacramento. Gun sales surged in California last month before the Golden State became the first in the nation to require background checks for ammunition purchases in a new law that took effect July 1st. There were 76,684 guns sold in the Golden State during June 2019, up 26% from the 61,060 sold in June 2018, according to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the trade association for the firearms industry, which reported the new figures Tuesday. And that's the NSSF. That's the people who bring you SHOT Show. Mark Olivia, the foundation's director of public affairs and a retired Marine Master Gunnery Sergeant who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, attributed the surge to the pending implementation of the ammunition sales background check requirement. Quote, it did have an effect on sales in California. No, obviously it did. The law spurred a surge in ammunition purchases in California last month as well, though accounts are largely anecdotal, Olivia said, and the ammunition sales are not tracked like those of firearms. So, if that many more guns were sold, you can imagine how much more ammunition that people bought. I'm sure it's astronomical. But yeah, so going to be curious to see how this ammunition background check thing plays out. But, it'll remain to be seen. It's ridiculous that they're doing that.
Yeah, they can't pick on the guns, and they pick on the ammo.
Yeah.
So it's just a big game. So you gotta, we gotta confront them.
Just another hoop that they try to make you go through. Another tax you got to pay. I'm sure. There's a fee for that background check. So there you go, California, still on the jackwagon train, and not all of California. It's just these Californian politicians and lawmakers. You guys gotta stymie that.
Yeah, California's got more issues than just that. The homeless people, and they're just not looking out for for U.S. citizens and everything else. So it's kind of crazy out there. I'd hate to. Their taxes are nuts too. And I'm in Illinois, so if I can say that, if I can say California is crazy from Illinois, then they're crazy.
That's true. So here's another one. This one is on Fox News. It says, decision to nix Pledge of Allegiance spurs USA chant at Minnesota City Council meeting. Marcus. Protesters were out in force in a Minnesota city this week, upset over the city council's decision to stop reciting the Pledge of Allegiance at the start of their meetings. The decision was announced by the St. Louis Park City Council after a unanimous vote on June 17th. The amendment to the council's rules was characterized as an effort to serve a more diverse community. It says, we concluded that in order to create a more welcoming environment to a diverse community, we're going to forego saying the Pledge of Allegiance before every meeting, Councilmember Tim Brawson said ahead of the vote. This is a quote. Not everyone who does business with the city or has a conversation is a citizen, she said. They certainly don't need to come into city council chambers and pledge their allegiance to our country in order to tell us what their input is about a sidewalk in front of their home. How ridiculous is that? How un-American is that?
Yeah.
Why are they even at this meeting? Why do they have a say-so at this meeting if they're not a citizen? I don't understand it. I don't get it.
That's exactly right. We don't need to accommodate to people. You're breaking the law coming in the country. You shouldn't be here. How can you get rights? That is
Why do you have a say-so in the sidewalk anyway? and you as a city council member and the people there should be citizens of the United States. So you should be pledging your allegiance to the United States. Those people don't have to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. They can still sit there and be respectful of people who are citizens of this country. The council's meeting to reconsider the controversial change was held on Monday as nearly 100 citizens waved American flags and chanted USA, USA, USA in a bid to convince the council to reverse course before the change goes into effect next week. Mayor Jake Spano reportedly proposed that the decision be reversed, arguing it should have been reviewed more thoroughly before a vote was held, while Mavity proposed further meetings on the subject. No decision was reached at the meeting on reinstating the pledge. I guarantee you the reason they did this is because they're lazy asses. They wanted to try to cut something out of these meetings to make them quicker so they can get out of there. Guarantee that's the whole thing behind this. It's got nothing to do with non-citizens' feelings at all. Says one of the gentlemen, Tim Brawson, said, evidently Minnesotans are upset because we are playing with their hallowed tradition. So it was just this air of superiority and very disturbing all around, she recalled. So yeah, if you're in Minnesota, where's this at? Protesters forcing a Minnesota City Council. St. Louis Park City Council. If we got any listeners there, please, please, please go call these jackwagons out. It's ridiculous. What were you going to say, Marcus?
I agree. They play the political correctness stuff. The left has gone so far left. They're socialist policies, and this is America. We're not socialist here. And if you can't even say the Pledge of Allegiance, that's like insane. Yeah. If you don't like it, just sit there and be quiet. If you don't want to,
you don't have to say it.
Prayer in school, just sit there and just let everybody else do it.
If you're not a citizen and you don't want to pledge your allegiance, then don't. Go to your country. Yeah. Or sit there until you're heard and then take your turn and don't complain, that we have traditions and, respect here in our country. Speaking of respect, I had talked about the flag etiquette a little bit, touched on it last episode. I wanted to go a little more detail about that, because I think it's pretty important. And some of the stuff that I was reading, I was like, oh, I'd forgotten. I'd learned this stuff when I was a Boy Scout, many, many decades ago. But this can be found in the United States Code. There's a website, www.usflag.org, and then you look up United States Code, and then it goes and it talks about what is the U.S. Code. The United States Code is the official subject matter order compilation of the federal laws of a general and permanent nature that are currently in force in accordance with Section 285B of Title II of the U.S. Code. The code is compiled by the Office of the Law Revision Council of the United States House of Representatives. The code is divided into 50 titles by subject matter. And then it goes on to talk about, and the flag is covered under this United States Code. And I was just going to read this. Flag etiquette, standards of respect. The flag code, which formalizes and unifies the traditional ways in which we give respect to the flag, also contains specific instructions on how the flag is not to be used. They are: the flag should never be dipped to any person or thing. It is flown upside down only as a distress signal. The flag should not be used as a drapery or for covering a speaker's desk, draping a platform, or for any decoration in general. Bunting of blue, white, and red stripes is available for these purposes. The blue stripes of the bunting should be on the top. The flag should never be used for any advertising purpose. And as I'm reading these, think to yourself how often you see all this, and how often have you done it? I'm guilty of some of this stuff. It should not be embroidered, printed, or otherwise impressed on such articles as cushions, handkerchiefs, napkins, boxes, or anything intended to be discarded after temporary use. Think about that. 4th of July, people are buying plates and napkins and all kinds of things that have the flag on it. Advertising signs should not be attached to the staff or halyard. The flag should not be used as part of a costume or athletic uniform, except that a flag patch may be used on the uniform of military personnel, firemen, policemen, and members of patriotic organizations, like Talking Lead. It doesn't say that. The flag should never have placed on it or attached to it any mark, insignia, letter, word, number, figure, or drawing of any kind. The flag should never be used as a receptacle for receiving, holding, carrying, or delivering anything. When the flag is lowered, no part of it should touch the ground or any other object. It should be received by waiting hands and arms. To store the flag, it should be folded neatly and ceremoniously. The flag should be cleaned and mended when necessary. When a flag is so worn it is no longer fit to serve as a symbol of our country, it should be destroyed by burning in a dignified manner. Note, most American Legion posts regularly conduct a dignified flag burning ceremony, often on Flag Day, June 14th. Many Cub Scout packs, Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops retire flags regularly as well. Contact your local American Legion Hall or Scout troop to inquire about the availability of this service. Thought that was a very good little tidbit of information there as well. And then it goes on and it talks about displaying the flag outdoors, raising and lowering the flag, displaying the flag indoors, parading and saluting the flag. It says, when carried in a procession, the flag should be to the right of the marchers when other flags are carried. The flag of the United States may be centered in front of the others or carried to the right. When the flag passes in a procession or when it is hoisted or lowered, all should face the flag and salute. And then the salute talks about that. Talks about the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem. The Pledge of Allegiance should be rendered by standing at attention, facing the flag and saluting. When the national anthem is played or sung, citizens should stand at attention. It says citizens, okay? Should stand at attention and salute at the first note and hold the salute through the last note. The salute is directed to the flag if displayed, otherwise to the music. So there you go. Just
a lot of stuff.
There, there's a lot, but it's all, it's common sense, but it's laid out right here in black and white for you too. Like I said, you can go to the usflag.org. and it talks about all the standards of respect for the flag there. And then you can get in and learn about some other stuff, historic and current flags of America, patriotic writings, and there's different links. I thought that was interesting. I thought I should go in a little bit more detail about the flag etiquette than I did the last episode. So I hope that was helpful. Pass this information along to those you know, and especially about the in the advertising purposes and the clothing type stuff. We got into the big thing about Nike and them putting the Betsy Ross flag on their pair of shoes and how they nixed that idea, whatnot. So, anywho, just thought we'd get that out.
That stuff it's common sense, but it's really about respect. And I think when people just try to commercialize it, now we have the American flag on our packaging because we want to show people we're American made, and we're promoting patriotism when we're doing that. It's not about marketing America. That people do things like that is taking advantage of it. But I think a lot of people they don't show the respect to the flag, and they need to kind of understand what that stands for and all the people have made sacrifices, and we need to honor that. I think most people do.
Yeah.
You get a handful of people that really kind of stand out because they don't. They're extremely disrespectful, and we have to stand up against that. Call people out on it. Educate them. Hopefully, they're open to learning.
And that's what we do here on Talking Lead is we leducate the uneducated, and we hope this helps in some small way. Hopefully, a big way.
A big way.
But yeah, so that's our Jackwagon Train. We're going to wrap it up with that, and then we're going to get into Lefty's Heroes, the new segment, Marcus, where we do the opposite of Jackwagons, is we honor those who are doing good things in our country and our community and around the world, and we want to give them as much recognition as we do those Jackwagons. So bring that Lead Force One in.
Air Force One is with you, 12 miles on the ILS, X-ray 16 right final.
Air Force One, contact Reno Tower, 118.7. Have a good day.
Air Force One, push it tower, good day.
And we don't have a pilot yet, Marcus. We're letting our lead heads vote on who the pilot and maybe the co-pilot of Lead Force One is going to be, and we've got some good nominations so far. We've got anything from Ted Nugent to Clint Eastwood to Chuck Norris I've seen to some dude from Starship Troopers, the movie. So all kinds of nominations. Keep those coming in, talkingled@gmail.com. And if you want to take part in the Glock giveaway, post a picture of your nominee on Instagram or Facebook and use the hashtag TL300 and TLGlock, and then tag Glock and tag Talking Lead, and then you'll be eligible to win a $75 gift card to Glock's web store. So we're still taking those. Send them in. We haven't decided on who our pilot's going to be yet, but the Lead Force One has landed, and our first passenger boarding today is going to be, and this comes from I think this is Ed. I think this is from Alex, because some of you guys are sending me this stuff on Facebook. Some of you sending it on Instagram. This actually comes from Kenny Ortega. Here it is. It says, I have a junior nominee for Lead Force One. 13-year-old founds nonprofit driven by gun safety issue. Growing up around firearms and seeing a lack of safety awareness. This is Sharyland North Junior High School student Roman Camargo decided to make a difference through educating children and their parents on gun safety. He and his older brother Ramiro Camargo, it's too many vowels, founded a nonprofit organization, GRASP, which stands for Gun Responsibility Awareness Safety Program. I like his acronym better than that other guy's, that Jackwagon, the HERE. Gun Responsibility Awareness Safety Program, to address the lack of education on firearms. Roman, who's 13, has worked to provide awareness to children and their parents on gun safety and awareness for the past 2 years, obtaining the nonprofit status in April. Well, congratulations to Roman and his brother Ramiro. I think this is a very, what's the word I want to look for? Worthy cause. And smart, for a 13-year-old to come up with this, especially in the environment of today. I'm sure they're getting all kinds of flack from their their students, their fellow students, and probably not some more the students than the parents, I'm sure. But it says it's a program that was made by kids for kids, so it's really important the two founders participate and are always there with us, the mother said. The organization began taking shape about 2 years ago when he was student council president. His mother, Hortensia. Hortensia? So sorry.
You're good. You're saying it good.
Yeah, these names encouraged him to leave a mark for the school. So you guys can read more about Roman. Is that his name, Roman? Yeah. This is The Monitor, themonitor.com, or you can just Google 13-year-old founds nonprofit driven by gun safety. So we're going to give Roman a ride on Lead Force One. So welcome aboard, Roman. You've earned your spot there. Hopefully you'll continue to do good things. We'll keep an eye on you. And our next nominee is another youngling. We'll call him Kids. He's a youngling. And this one comes to us from Ed Burton. It says, this young man should pilot Lead Force One. So not only is he a nominee for Lefty's Heroes, but this is his nomination for pilot. And this is Running for Heroes. He sent me a link to a Facebook page here. And let's see what Running for Heroes is. It says, mission, 10-year-old Zachariah runs to honor the lives of our true American heroes, our first responders and military. Follow along as he runs 148 miles in 2019 while raising $15,000 for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. I think we may have talked about this kid on the show before. But in particular, Ed sent us this link where Zachariah is running to honor local Orlando Police Department hero Officer Kevin Valencia. Officer Valencia was shot on June 11th, 2018 and remains in a coma to this day.
Wow.
So if you go to our Facebook page and go to our visitor post, Ed has made a post there. It's got the link, and there's a little video of Zachariah with some of the other, I guess, fellow officers of Officer Valencia that are doing this run. And he's got a flag, and it's the police blue line, and he's running with that flag. I don't know if that falls in disrespectful or not, but I'm sure it does.
Nah.
You know, it's stuff like this that, you know, is just kind of like, man, you overlook it, I guess, because it's for such a good cause. Anyway,
here's the point you gotta look at. Would the founding fathers put the thumbs up or the thumbs down?
Oh, I'm
telling you, they're putting the thumbs up for this.
They'd be all over, and it's not the American flag either. It is I guess it's a police flag. You know, it's black and white, and it's got a blue line for one of the bars. But anyway, I'm not gonna be nitpicky about it. I think it's great. So yeah, definitely Zachariah, welcome to Lead Force One. Come aboard. And just so you guys know, every seat on Lead Force One is first class. That's how we roll, you know. So that's the whole point in having Lead Force One. So do you got anybody you want to nominate there, Marcus, for Lefty's Heroes?
You don't have to. There's so many people that I watch the news a lot, and I can read and sort of stay up on things. And I know people might think, one person, Micah Clark. I mean, you know, part of the show, so we're doing this.
And that's what we got coming up. So that's a good lead-in right here. Marcus has a guest that's going to be joining us. And I think definitely Micah deserves a seat on Lead Force One too. So let's go ahead and wheels up. Let's take off, get our Lefty's Heroes out of here and on their awesome voyage across the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome all passengers on this service and advise that this flight is now boarding. Please have your boarding pass available to assist us with your entry on board the aircraft.
All right, Marcus, and speaking of patriotism, Marcus has brought along one of his friends, and I think we made mention of this last time you were on. We were going to get this gentleman on. Marcus, go ahead and introduce your friend.
Yeah, my friend that we've been friends for quite a while now is Micah Clark. He's the director and handles pretty much lots and lots of stuff over at Camp Patriot, which is a truly great organization. And Micah is like one of the most dedicated, hardworking, unselfish, sacrificing people I know, which is part of why we want to support them as much as possible.
Yeah, and we definitely know he's hard working because we've had a time getting him on the show, and we finally nailed him down. So, Micah, welcome into the Talking Lead podcast, brother.
Hey, well, guys, I apologize for tying it up so long to get on here with you folks. Excited to be here.
You picked a great episode to be on. This is 308, so we kind of got a monumental round that probably ties in to a lot with what you do there at Camp Patriot as well. So, tell our lead heads what Camp Patriot's all about. Camp
Patriot's a disabled veteran outdoor experience program, and so what we do is we take all generations of veterans from World War II, the ones that are still around with us, to the current day warriors that are been injured in combat. And we started in 2005. When I came back from Afghanistan in 2004, I felt God had blessed me to have my arms, legs, and everything going on, so I decided to create a program to get veterans in the outdoors and show them that they have the ability to live life, not look at the disability.
So what made you go this route with the outdoors and not something else?
Yeah, I grew up fly fishing, and we have a place in Montana here, and I came home from Afghanistan, and after losing a couple buddies and having some friends that were blown up, they were permanently disabled, blinded and those things, I was out taking 30 days myself to work on my cabin and out fly fishing with my lab, and was on a pristine piece of water, and trout were rising, and I was reflecting on those guys and gals, and thought, they should be doing the same thing I'm doing right here. And then of course the idea grew into something much larger, and that was eventually having a ranch and being able to bring all generations of veterans through this program and show them that we thank them for their sacrifice, and that we love them, and they're not forgotten.
And the reason I'm having Micah on, there's 1,000 of these different organizations that are out there, and of course, as you lead heads know, a lot of them aren't worth their weight in salt. But these guys are true blue. They're true to what they say they do. The money goes where they say it's going to go, and the programs are benefiting our veterans, men and women out there. So I wanted to make sure that we had Micah on to talk about Camp Patriot. Again, Modern Spartan Systems is backing these guys, so they're reputable. It's good company. Modern Spartan Systems has been with Talking Lead since the beginning. This is our 7th year, and when Marcus tells me something, I believe it. And did some research on you guys, and again, you're everything you say you are, and then some. You're a growing organization. Talk about the ranch there that you've got in Montana, the whole layout there. You've got some pictures online, and it just looks absolutely amazing.
Well, I appreciate you asking. It's we are redoing our site, so bear with us. It's going to get a little better, but we're short of 100 acres, surrounded by about 1.some million acres of national forest. We're right over the Panhandle of Idaho, about 10 miles south of the Canadian border. So we're about as remote in the lower 48 as you can get. Put in perspective, it's a 100-mile trip for me to go to a grocery store there and back. So it's great for the solitude, and the veterans get up here and they realize that, hey, we're in the sticks. So the ranch itself was a 1920 homestead, and there was 2 other lodges built on it, and we're building a 3rd one right now, which is our Justin Boot Lodge, and Justin Boot's been one of our sponsors. So
nice.
Eventually, we're going to be able to sleep 17 more people in that lodge. I try to keep the trips about 5 people at a time, but these bigger retreats have been hounding me. That's been kind of the tough time getting on air with you. I've had 3 retreats in a row. We got a 4th one coming up this next weekend with about 25 people at a time showing up. So it's been a little cramped, but the horseback riding, the fly fishing, the floating the rivers, the ATV riding, all those things are the activities that we provide. And of course, wintertime, we're snowmobiling and ice fishing and those things. But the ranch is a pretty spectacular place. It's predominantly been owned by wealthier people. The homesteads up weren't as big as the eastern part of the state. So 200 acres was a maximum, homestead back in the day. So 100 acres is a pretty good chunk of land up here to be privately owned.
Yeah. Now, you say you're on the Yaak River?
We're right off the Yaak River. We're right on what they call Vinyl Lake. And so we're the only private property on about a 20-acre lake here, and the rest of it's Forest Service property. So it's it's a unique place. It's we encourage you to get on the sites there and check it out. And we just started an Instagram page, so you can see a lot more pictures and see what we're providing the veterans.
Yeah, as we're talking, give those links so our listeners can go ahead and see what we're talking about as we talk about it.
Okay, yeah, the web link is www.campatriot.org. The Instagram page is camp.patriot. And, those are the two links right now. I haven't started a tweet thing, or I'm slacking on the IT side, brother.
That's cool. So, as we're talking, you guys can go ahead, log on, check this out. Talk about the different programs that you offer at the ranch.
Well, the activities, like I had mentioned, were the outdoor activities, the fly fishing, the float in the rivers, some hunting trips, ATVing, snowmobiling, the horseback and mule equine thing. We're actually looking at building the equine program with a couple buddies that are kind of tied into that world. All these things are very, very expensive. We've only got 2 corporate sponsors, and they're, donating quarterly off some programs. So we're doing some cause marketing campaigns. So we're looking for more of those corporate sponsors to help us with this ranch, because we got about a $250,000 a year operational cost right now. We own this ranch free and clear, so it's not a cheap venture.
I was going to say, talking
bringing about 150 veterans out a year. Go ahead.
Yeah, the size of the operation. You can't do that on your own. So I'm sure you've got some ranch hands, or I don't know what you call them, that help.
No, we got actually one. I've got a part-time ranch hand, Dave McCormick, and his nephew was Ryan Joe from SEAL Team 3. So anybody that saw the movie American Sniper saw Ryan was the kid that was shot on the rooftop in Ramadi and was blinded. And I took him on Mount Rainier blind and on elk hunt. We became real close, and through that relationship, his uncle and I developed a relationship, and he was a builder out of Seattle, so he decided to jump on board and help me out. So it's basically he and I, and then my father helps out. And we're about 7 hats to keep this thing rolling.
Wow. That's not a lot for an operation that size. And with the volume that you say you're doing. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I was going to say, in the volume that you say that you're doing, you're coming off, your 4th one this year already?
Correct. And we're averaging 100 to 150 veterans a year coming through the program right now, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you break it down to our operational cost, that's $1,250 per person to come to this ranch. So we definitely need the support. We're not fast food. It's not like, and I'm not browbeating any organizations that take some guys out to a pond near their facility in a big town. That's all great, but we're giving these veterans a trip that would cost you about $3,500 if you went to Montana to try to do 3 of these activities and stay in the lodging and the food that we provide. It's not fast food. We're definitely providing a higher end, a therapy trip, if you will.
Yeah. Well, and just getting to Montana and getting out to that ranch, like you said, you're 100 miles from civilization, so there's cost associated with that too. Now, how do veterans get involved with this, or how do you go out and find the veterans to take part in this? What's your process?
At the beginning it was really tough. We started dealing with some of the wounded battalions on the military bases and through word of mouth, and a show like yours is absolutely huge for us to get the word out there, because we've got a whopping, I think, $3,000 we spend on marketing right now. So you can see we don't have the funds to go out and market, and it's just, I'm getting probably 6 to 10 requests, through the websites, through different chains of people hearing about us, wanting to come to the ranch. And so I have to balance out bringing veterans in from about 2 states away that can drive in, which obviously lowers our costs because the airlines aren't helping me right now. I need to get a couple carriers helping us, but it's, we got to go to Kalispell to pick them up right now. It's 130 miles one way.
Oh, wow.
And we just put a little airstrip in on the property, and we're hoping to get our own aircraft so we can, expand our footprint and pick guys up at a major hub.
Okay, so I was assuming we had talked a little bit prior to getting all this set up. You said you guys had done a fly-in. I didn't. So you got an airstrip there, or?
we over the course of the last year, my father and I, we put in about a 1,500-foot strip, and so we just had a first annual fly-in, if you will. So we had 3 bush pilots decide they're going to try out the strip and come in, and so it's not for the faint of heart, but it will give us the ability to get in and out of here easier with corporate sponsors, and eventually I want the veterans that we can pick them up at a major hub like Spokane, Washington, which would save us some money on airline tickets.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty cool. So to get in touch with you, they just go to your website, camppatriot.org, and if they know somebody or if they are, and is this strictly for wounded veterans?
Correct. It's wounded veterans, and that's what we're trying to, get the word out to, it's bear with us. We got about 300 people that are on the list that want to come here. It's just we can't afford all the airline tickets. So we're trying to balance it out, keep bringing as many in as we can with the diversity of, grabbing folks from across the country, 2 vets that are close enough by that can drive and that we can reimburse fuel that way.
Let me jump in a second, because there's a couple things I don't want to miss that, Mike, I think you should talk about.
Okay.
And one is the homesteading, and the second is kind of what you're hoping to do with corporate retreats that can help fund.
Yeah, Marty, what we're, the activities are full blown going right now with the ones that I mentioned. What we've been slowly putting together on the ranch is a homesteading program. So we high fenced about 3 acres that we're planning on having about 60 to 80 garden beds, and the other part's going to be orchard. And we've got a small sawmill, and so the idea was to get 2 vets at a time that would be here for a homesteading program. And it's basically you're here to work. You're learning how to can food, run the sawmill, work in the garden, and of course a 3-acre garden up here. I mean, you could feed the valley. So what I envision down the road is those 2 vets that are here working could actually on a Saturday run some produce over to the veteran pantry in Kalispell or wherever we need to go to help, cut down that grocery cost. But it would give those veterans that are going to retire and get out and have 10, 20 acres and go, hey, I'd like to learn some of these things. And we're not going to put it as a college curriculum or anything. It's just that, hey, you're going to come out and help us on the ranch. Mm-hmm. That helps us with the veterans. And so the homesteading program is kind of that idea, but we don't have the money to throw a light switch at it. It's something that's just going to keep taking time to build. You imagine you're going to have somebody here for a month. They've got to have the lodging, the food, and but that would help out on the ranch. We just had a veteran this summer. He and a buddy came out, and they were here for like 3 weeks, and tremendous amount of work was done. So it was a great reprieve for them to get away from their normal hassles in life and come up here and help us on the ranch.
Very good. That sounds like a pretty cool program, man.
Yeah, we're putting in the gun ranges, which will I think excite some of your folks, and so along with the archery ranges, the gun ranges, the airstrip. Obviously, we move our dusk to dawn, our runway lights, and now you got a 500-yard range. So.
Very cool. Now, Marcus also mentioned that you're going to look at doing maybe some corporate retreats out there.
Well, what I'm hoping to do, it's got to be tied into the funding side of things. And interesting enough, I've got some buddies that have written some books. They're out of the SEAL teams, and they're doing a lot of this corporate leadership training right now. So I'm trying to
Jason
get them
Redmond,
involved.
Jason?
I can. Jason Redmond and I were at Buds together. We were in Class 200, and so we go way back. He climbed Rainier with us in I think it was 2010. And
yeah, he's got a great organization.
Jay's got new book, Overcome.
He's been on the show before.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, and we've been trying to link up together here lately, but I think he's been pretty busy, and he's got a new book called Overcome out, and then also Leif Babin and Jocko have got a book called Extreme Ownership, and those guys are buddies of mine. And so what I'm hoping to do is get those guys out here and possibly bring some of those corporate leadership teams and say, hey, come out here, use the facility, and talk about charitable gifting for our program is what I'd like to do.
Sure.
It's just a great atmosphere to bring a small team. This new lodge is going to have a conference room. that you can hold your team meetings, as well as it provides all activity things, whether it's fly tying or yoga or whatever we're going to be doing out here with that room. So with the ranges, the strip, all those things, I think it could be a beneficial thing to get some of these corporate sponsors spun up and excited about what we're doing. And we're offering that to our corporate sponsors we have right now. So we're saying, hey, bring your management team out here. We'll do the activities. You can host your meeting. Nobody's going to bother you. And, just a great relationship that can be built, using this asset.
Yeah, I mean, you could use that. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you could do there. I've got ideas floating through my head. We'll talk about them off air, but
yeah, definitely.
Marcus will tell you I'm an idea guy, man.
I hear you. Well, that's what this thing has been. It's we're putting in an amphitheater, open air amphitheater, so we can have concerts and races and those kind of things.
Yeah,
Micah, to me, this is like the most important, and I know this is why you do this. But could you? Because you tell me stories, and so I hear these things, and I think other people would make a big impression. Can you tell them just a couple of stories about some of the guys that come through there and like the impact that you have and the program has on them? Because that's really the foundation.
Yeah, well, this questionnaire doesn't necessarily tell me, I didn't see the age on this gentleman. He said United States Marine Corps, didn't have an age, and I thought, I'm going to call this gentleman up. He lived out in I think Illinois somewhere, and name was Arthur Carcuro, and so I call Arthur up, and I'm like, hey, Arthur, Semper Fi, man, and he's like, talking to me. You couldn't tell by his voice what his age was. I said, well, Arthur, when did you get out of the Marine Corps? He said, 1958. I'm like, holy smokes, 1958. And he goes, I was frozen chosen. I was chosen reservoir. I said, you got to be kidding me. So it was pretty special to have a frozen chosen, Marine up here, man. I tell you, the stories he was talking about fighting a battle in 60 below weather.
Oh my gosh.
And we'd get out fishing, and he would still tear up, start breaking down, talking about that battle and what they survived to get out of there. And so yeah, it was pretty neat. My very first trip was with a Bataan Death March survivor and 2 Vietnam vets, and he was a POW for 4 years with the Japanese. And so, we're losing those guys, and I'd love to get as many World War II guys up there as possible.
Yeah.
They just, we're losing them so fast.
Yeah, we talked about that on a few episodes back. I mean, it would be awesome to have something like this to just go out, get all the surviving World War II members together, and in an atmosphere like this, and that would be awesome if you could put something like that together.
Yeah, that generation, the best term, I don't know who coined it, but it was the days of wooden ships and iron men, and I love that generation. Those guys, you look at, I go to the Reno air races each year, and these guys were 18, 19, 20 years old jumping in a P-51, and just to have the intestinal fortitude to get in a machine and go fight that war, the guys on the ground. I mean, it just blows you away. I mean, now these young kids nowadays are still living at home at 35 years old. So these guys were lying about their age to go fight the Germans and the Japanese.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Marcus started talking about the impact. The female trips are kind of tough. We keep them segregated. There's a lot of MST stuff going on out there, that military sexual trauma that is tying these women into the disabled veteran category. And we don't get real personal, and with the HIPAA violations, those kind of things, if you get a disability rating, we've been bringing these females in, and kind of hit and miss. You get a couple that have been injured actually in combat. One gal showed up about 6'2", 6'3", 230 pounds, big girl, looked like a linebacker. And this horseback riding stuff is so powerful. It's so expensive and dangerous, but it's so powerful you can't really put a price tag on it when you get the testimonials afterwards. It's a major bucket list thing for many of these women that come out of places like New York or Jersey, and they've never been to Montana, and now you're in the backcountry on a mule, right? This gal helped me put the mules away, and she grabbed me by the shoulders as I locked the gate, and I could see a tear come out of her eye just in the kind of the light off the barn, and she goes, "You have to let me come back." And I was like, "Well, you're big enough right now, she could down me like a stake in the ground." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, you're coming back." But to know her story, she had been jump qualified. She got blown up in a Humvee, and they misdiagnosed, and thought she was dead, and they put her in a body bag.
Oh, damn.
She wakes up 3 hours later, zipped up in a body bag in her own blood and sweat. And talk about the mind games going on with you after that, right?
Holy cow, yeah.
So this woman survived that, and she became kind of my champion of helping get women veterans, especially ones that had been combat injured. And unfortunately, she was going to move out to Montana. She fell in love with being here, and she wanted to be within 130 miles to come and help at the ranch. It was her dream to move to Montana, and unfortunately, she got killed in a car accident.
Oh, man.
When she came to look at property out here. And but I tell you, we became good friends. She would call me when she was having tough times, and just what the impact of this ranch in Montana did for her was huge. And so I just wanted to share that quick story with you, because this place is pretty powerful, and it has nothing to do with me. I'd love to get Camp Patriot to the point where nobody knows who the hell Micah Clark is. I don't give two shits about that. It's about realizing there's a spectrum of good and evil, and God is the answer. And it's really tough. There's so many different things, that these variables that they're throwing at these veterans to help them, and the worst one's the meds. And they get off the meds is probably the first answer, and so they're clear-headed. And I try to explain to vets that, when we sign up for the military, we are giving them that blank check. And if you don't understand the spectrum of good and evil, it's very tough and get very murky in your reality of what's going on, especially once you've been injured. Now you're going, man, I'm injured. The country necessarily as a whole isn't backing you up. There's a big percentage that is now. And I see it with our Vietnam vets. I mean, we all know how they got treated. So it's pretty powerful when they come here, because they never got that thank you. But, to realize that, God's the answer, man, I'm telling you. And you got to get in that book and realize that, yeah, we are pawns in this big game, and we definitely are a number when we sign up for the military. So it can get pretty confusing. And so that's what Camp Patriot was really about. Is it's not a fishing trip, a hunt trip. It's a way to build a relationship. And Theodore Roosevelt said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And really, that's what this is about. The activities are a way for us to build a relationship and that camaraderie, and say, hey, man, there are people that love you and care about you, and there is a plan for you. You just got to look the right direction.
Amen. So you're doing awesome stuff, and I just wanted to make sure that the Leadhead Brigade knew that you guys existed. You get in touch with them at camppatriot.org, Leadheads. If you've got donations or if you've got other questions, you can get in touch with them there as well. And what's your next venture that you've got planned?
We're actually going to be hosting some of the veteran counselors this weekend, but we've got another group of vets that are coming out of Seattle that are, I think, from OEF, IEF, and we'll be getting them out fishing, floating the rivers, ATVing, and then I've got for October, I'm actually putting together an EOD detective assigned to 7th Group. We're taking him out to Wyoming. I've got a few ranches that we provide some hunts, and so he's going to get to go after some 200-inch mule deer, and that's about a $10,000 hunt. So yeah. I'm really reserving those big game hunts are for Purple Hearts only. Yeah. And, the big game hunts are pretty tough to come by. They're so expensive. So getting that actively planned, and then, of course, looking in the fall, there's some of the more bird hunting and some of the fishing will be taking place.
So I was looking through your website. You don't do all this at the ranch. You have some off-site programs as well, right?
Well, we have. We used to climb Mount Rainier. We were the first group that I believe that was taking veterans on top of a big volcano with snow on them, and that was Rainier. And we had about 6-7 years of climbing Mount Rainier. It's just that once we got this asset, the insurance company said, well, you're going to have to quit climbing big volcanoes if you want to insure the asset. So we've stopped climbing Rainier, and it was a great event. It never really reached the fundraising potential I thought it would. But it was, even as a well-oiled machine, we're still spending 3 months just planning that trip, and we had some of the best climbers in the world helping us. It was it impacted 4 veterans a year, which was great. And Jay Redmond and Mike Day and some of these other guys were a part of those climbs. And it just, mountain climb is like parachuting. Sooner or later, the chute ain't gonna open. You're gonna have somebody die on a mountain. And it was just one of those things where did the risk evaluation and then taking on this asset so we bring a lot more veterans a year. We quit climbing Mount Rainier, and it's been we still get requests. Hey, you still climbing the mountain? We said, no, we're not right now. We're doing these things. So, it was a great stepping stone. I don't know if we'll ever revisit it. They used to try to get us to write a $40,000 insurance policy for, 4 days on a mountain, and we just couldn't afford to do it. So we have all the liability releases and all those things, but it was just, so I'm going to continue doing some off-site things as this airstrip develops. That there's, Montana's a big state, and we got a couple of ranches that want to open up some hunts, but, you can't put a guy in a car for 16 hours just to go, shoot a few birds. So the aviation component could really open up the doors for us.
Yeah, very cool. And, you need funds, like you said. I mean, it's very expensive, some of these things that you guys are doing. And Modern Spartan Systems has come up with a way for you lead heads to be able to help out Camp Patriot. Marcus, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that they want to do. And I've been with Micah since before he had the ranch, and I've seen him struggle and fight and everything to get to this point. And it's been great to watch him grow. But like he says, they do a lot of the stuff, hands-on. He and his father and some other good volunteers and other people are doing this, but they need more money to get more programs and to just keep enhancing it and getting more people through the program. Like they just had a whole bunch of female vets when veterans come through, and he sends me the pictures, and you just see their smiles on their faces and everything. So we want to support them as a company, and we're still small, but we're growing. And as we grow, we want to help to, raise some money for them. So we decided to do this with you, and hopefully your audience will support this and get behind it. So we decided to do a 15% discount off of anybody that buys any of our programs, just any of the firearm products, starter kit pluses, and any of the TVT green engine vehicle products. So anything, but anyone that buys get a 15% discount, and then 15% of that buy is going to go to Camp Patriot. So we're gonna load it up, and when we get some money, we'll send it over to Micah, and hopefully it'll help fund something else in there.
Very
and so
cool.
We created a coupon code of TLCP15, Talking Lead Camp Patriot 15. So that's pretty much what it is. And we do want to do more things later, but right now that's something that we can do with you guys, and hopefully you're
the lead heads. We've been with you guys for. We've been doing this for 7 years now, and we've been with Modern Spartan Systems. You've been with us, the Leadhead Brigade. I'm sure most everybody in our new ones, if you haven't heard of Modern Spartan Systems, you check them out, modernspartansystems.com. They've got the full line of gun cleaning, gun lubricating, everything you need to keep your gun clean and accurate. You can get it at Modern Spartan Systems. And 15% off with this code, and an additional 15% is going to go towards Camp Patriot. So you're getting an awesome product at a great price, and you're helping out a tremendous organization, Camp Patriot, giving back to those that have given. And I can't think of a better way to do it. It's a win-win for everybody. And that TVT engine oil additive, guys, I swear by it. I put it in the old lead sled. I put it in my lawnmowers. I put it in everything, my generators, and it just helps everything run smoother, better gas mileage. I mean, you've probably proven some things since we talked last about that, but we'll talk about that off air. I know Micah's got to get back to the farm, the ranch there. Micah, thank you so much for taking the time to be on. And one more time, give everybody your links on where they can find you on the internet and on social media.
Yes, sir. CampPatriot.org, www.camppatriot.org. Instagram's Camp.Patriot. And, we'd love to hear from you. And, the modern Spartan systems are great. Our vets use them on the range and other sponsors. And can't thank you, Marty, and Marcus, of course, enough for the relationship we have and, the support you're giving us.
Absolutely. And, again, guys, that code, one more time, is TLCP15. Use that at modernspartansystems.com. Micah, we'll talk to you soon. If anything new comes up, be sure to get in touch with us, and we'll let the leadheads know.
Sounds great, Marty. I sure appreciate it. And Marcus, thank you again for setting this up. Sorry it's been such a hassle. Almost had to send smoke signals out of here to get comms.
So, yes, definitely Micah and Camp Patriot deserve a slot on Lead Force One. Happy to have them aboard. We'll make sure that it circles back around and picks them up. But you guys, if you want to make your nominations for Lead Force One, just like you do your Jackwagons, talkinglead@gmail.com, put in the subject, Lead Force One, Lefty's Heroes, something along those lines. And, of course, if it's a Jackwagon, send a separate email. Try not to put them in the same email because I might overlook them. Put your Jackwagon nominations in those. And then, they're giveaways. Marcus, we're doing giveaways here to celebrate Talking Lead's 300th episode. We're in 308 now. We've been giving away flashlights from ASP USA. We've been giving away gift cards from 1776 United, gift cards from Glock, special limited edition 300th episode edition Talking Leadies. Been giving some of those away. All kinds of cool stuff. We've got a 22 suppressor that we're giving away. We're giving away a Keltec CP33 22 pistol. We're giving away some X-Steel Targets AR500 gongs. We've got a set of those that we're going to be giving away. Just all kinds of cool stuff. We've got Rats Tourniquets from Rats Tourniquets. Good buddy Jeff Kirkham. What else have we got? What are we giving away here? I got to find my list. We've got special discounts. Modern Spartan Systems is giving you guys 15% off. Use that code TLCP15. I've got discounts from Safariland, 40% off VIP discount codes. I've got a ton of these. Our friend Keith Garcia, who is a sponsored shooter of Safariland, has shared a lot of his codes with you leadheads. I know a lot of you have sent me emails. I've sent you the codes. I hope you're using those. If you want a code, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and I will hook you up with 40% off at Safariland. Just email me, say you want the Safariland, put Safariland in the subject, whatever, and I'll hook you up with an awesome code to get a discount there at Safariland. Even ASP, they set up a discount code for you guys. The code at ASP USA, you're going to get 20% off any of their flashlight and flashlight accessories. It's lead 20%. I guess you use the percent code. Lead 20%, and that's going to get you 20% off at ASP. And then, of course, all our other sponsors, friends of the show, that Leadhead discount code, try it out. If it doesn't work, let me know, and we'll get it reactivated. But lots of awesome stuff to celebrate our 300th episode. All the friends of the show, sponsors of the show, have set up awesome things for you guys to take advantage of, awesome discounts, awesome programs, awesome giveaways. So you got to listen to the past episodes to know how to participate, how to win our giveaways. We haven't set up for the CP33 yet, and we haven't set up for the gongs, but we do have in place for the suppressor, the silencer from Dooley Defense. What you got to do is you got to make a post on social media and just something what freedom means to you. And it could be anything, It could be sitting in front of the TV, could be out grilling, could be going to the zoo, could be riding your motorcycle. just take a picture of what freedom means to you and use the hashtag TLFreedomCast, TL300, tag Dooley Defense, tag Talking Lead, and that's going to make you eligible for the 22 silencer. And, of course, all local, state, federal laws apply. If you can't have one where you live, then you're not going to win it. So don't expect to win it, but you can still take part. We want to see you taking part because you have to take part in all of these in order to win one of them. So to win the XTDF flashlight kits from ASP USA, what you got to do is you got to make a post of just something in support of our law enforcement men and women. Originally, we said you got to go take a selfie with them or at the station. We've loosened the reins on that. So just something in support of our law enforcement men and women, and use the hashtag TL300, hashtag ASP gear, and then tag ASP and tag Talking Lead in that post. But you have to do all these posts to be eligible for one. So if you didn't do the What Freedom Means to You post and you did the flashlight post, then you're not going to be eligible. You got to do them all. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Marcus?
Makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
So
hey, we can jump in there too. We could put something, maybe a starter kit plus and a bottle of TVT.
There you go.
We could do one of those too.
Okay, so there you go. So another prize added to the prize list, Leadheads. A starter kit, which includes
your carbon destroyer. Everybody uses it, says it's the best carbon cleaner on the planet. Your copper lead destroyer, also an excellent product, won't etch your guns. Then you get your accuracy oil, which is the most important part, and that does all the massive number of benefits that nobody else can touch. Your accuracy grease, and your crystal clear, your lens cleaner. So it's like everything in one nice, neat, snap, quick box.
And then a big old bottle of TVT engine oil additive.
Yep.
Nice.
You want to get your fuel mileage up, make your vehicle last longer, get your maintenance costs, and have that safety factor. If you lost your engine oil, that there's nothing around like it. If you get anything motorized, you also be using it.
Yeah,
100%.
like I said, I use it in anything and everything here at the lead quarters that has an engine. We've got it in all our vehicles. We've got like 5, so I run out of that stuff pretty quick. My lawnmowers, I even put it in the weed eater, man. I got a little bit in my weed eater. Gives it a little extra.
It does make them run better. You can hear the sound on it.
Yeah, it does. So no problems whatsoever. Love the stuff. So what are we gonna make them do for that, Marcus?
You're like the master at this, but some kind of post. I like something patriotic.
Let's do this. So here's what you got to do to win that package from Modern Spartan. Are we giving one of those away or 2 of those? How many are we giving away?
Well, let's do 2.
Okay, we're going to do 2 of those. So here's what you got to do. So since this is, it's about your guns and your firearms and cleaning, we want to see what you would use Modern Spartan products on. So if you got like a handgun that you shoot a lot, I want to see one that really needs to be cleaned. I want to see a dirty gun. Show me pictures of your dirty guns and how Modern Spartan systems, how you need Modern Spartan systems to clean that gun up. And then you can also, if you've got like a new gun, because that Spartan accuracy oil for that break-in period of your gun, it's gonna protect it. It's gonna make it more accurate too. So if you get a new gun, you're like, hey, I could really use Modern Spartan systems on my new 308 that I bought. Whatever it may be, your precision rifle, maybe it's your Glock. Show us a picture of that and, say, hey, I could really use that Modern Spartan systems for this.
Hey, well, just to be clear on that too.
Yeah.
Your used guns, it makes them more accurate. The cool thing with the used guns is you already know what your shot groups are like.
That's
true. And you will most likely see when you go through the process, and it's pretty simple.
Good point.
You will see accuracy improve in those too. Ask Charlie and Brad.
Good point.
They'll tell you.
So that's what you got to do. So just send us a picture of you and your gun or whatever and say, I really could use Modern Spartan System Accuracy Oil for this. I could use the Carbon Destroyer for this. I could use, your vehicle. Hey, I'm out mowing my yard, and this mower really could use a little boost with that TVT engine oil additive. And then tag Modern Spartan Systems.
So right. At Modern Spartan Systems is Facebook. At Modern Spartans is Twitter. And at Modern Spartan Systems is Instagram.
So tag them, and then use the hashtag MSS, hashtag TL300, and hashtag Camp Patriot. And those are the tags you got to use to be eligible for the Modern Spartan Systems kit that Marcus just so generously put up. 2 of those that we're going to be giving away. Very cool. But again, to be eligible for that one, you have to have done the ASP flashlight, and you have to have done the 22 suppressor giveaway, and you have to have done the Lead Force 1 nominee. And that gets you eligible for the $75 Glock giveaway. So go back, listen to our previous episodes. We talk about all the giveaways that we're doing from 300 all the way up to now. We spoon feed you on what you need to do. It's easy. It's just taking part. It's being engaging on social media, liking our sponsors, our friends of the show, showing your support. And it's fun. It's cool. It's fun to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of these pictures of these dirty guns and what you think you need to use your Modern Spartan Systems on. So very cool, Marcus. Thank you for putting that up. And then we're going to come up with a way to give away that Kel-Tec CP33 and those gongs soon. So stand by for that. Those are coming up. But appreciate all the participation that you leadheads have been doing so far, all the feedback on iTunes, all the emails that you're sending. Keep them coming. I love getting those from you guys and girls. And I'm going to go to iTunes now, and we're going to pick a winner for that last $25 1776 United gift card. And I'm going to go through. I'm just going to take the most recent review from iTunes, Marcus.
There you go.
And let's go. Most recent. This was
going to be a lucky person.
July the 7th. Says the best for leducation. You know that's right. Says I've been listening to Lefty and his guests for a couple of years now and love every episode. I was a virtual newbie to the firearms and 2A community when I started and love the leducation that I get every week. It's interesting. Leducation, because we leducate the uneducated here, Marcus. We've been doing it since 2012. It's That's interesting awesome. and fresh and fun. I love the new Lefty's Heroes segment to complement the Jackwagons. This lady leadhead loves this podcast, and it is from KTD Healy. So KTD Healy on iTunes. I'm at iTunes checking the feedback. Send me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and you get our final $25 gift card from 1776 United. We're giving 4 of those away. So congratulations, and keep them coming because I'm going everywhere. I'm checking, and I haven't done Twitter yet, and I may do Twitter, but definitely Instagram, Facebook, emails, the posts that you're doing, the feedback that you're leaving us on these different podcasting apps. You never know where I'm going to go to pick a winner. So congratulations to Katie. We're going to give away more next episode. I think we'll go ahead and next episode we're going to pick the winner for that $75 gift card, and we're going to name our pilot, Marcus, for the Lead Force 1 for Lefty's Heroes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So who do you think should pilot Lead Force 1? You got any nominations?
Piloting.
Yeah, we need a pilot. We got to have, right now. I'm flying the plane, because we don't have a pilot. I'm just tied up. I can't do it all the time. So, like Gunny,
so you have to take it. If you have to take a break, then you need someone else to step in. Is that it?
Well, no. It's going to be our full-time pilot. They're going to be in charge of flying Lead Force around and all Lefty's Heroes, making sure they're taken care of.
Wow, that could be a lot of people. We get Trump.
Well, Trump has been kind of thrown in the mix. But I can tell you right now, Trump is not going to be the pilot of my Lead Force 1. Nothing.
He's busy. He's pretty busy.
He's just, that's just not his cup of tea. He's better served elsewhere. But we've got, like I told you some of the nominations. We've got Sully Sullenberger. That movie Sully. He's been nominated. Yeah. We've got, like I said, Chuck Norris. There's been, let me go to my list from last week.
I guess someone.
Who do you got?
Someone I like personally because I've been watching him for a long time, and he's like he's right on, and some people don't like him, but he's always proven in the long run to be 100% right. That's Sean Hannity.
Sean Hannity. Okay.
Sean Hannity. He's pro-gun, big pro-gun guy. He's pro-American. If I could have a brother, he'd be my brother. I think.
Oh, you feel strongly about Sean Hannity, I see. Okay.
I like brother Sean.
Well, we will put Sean Sean Hannity in for the running. He's running against George Patton, Ted Nugent, Han Solo, Chris Kyle, George Washington, Sullenberger, Chelsea Sully Sullenberger, Clint Eastwood, Chuck Yeager, Juan Johnny Rico, and then the Zapper 21, which Zapper 21, Marcus, if you missed this, he is the Navy pilot that did the sky penis a couple of years ago. Made big news for that.
It's important. Yeah, it's important.
But thanks to all you lead heads, Jay Spiel, Austin, Jason Edgar, Ed Burton, Eric, Jacob Rozeski, Alex, Brent, Pierce, Randy Brinkley. He's another one voting for Chris Kyle and Ted Nugent to be the co-pilot, I guess. So he's got a double nomination there. But make those posts on social media, guys, on Instagram, Facebook. Use the hashtags. Use the tags so I can find them. And we're gonna get our pilot hopefully next. I'm gonna say next episode, but I want to see some more nominations. So get those in, and then Marcus just threw Sean Hannity as a candidate. So we'll see what happens.
A lot of good people on your list.
All right, Marcus. That does it for another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. We're wrapping up episode 308. And you know what? I didn't get into the 308. I wanted to do a little history on the 308. So before we wrap it up, the 308 Winchester is a rimless bottleneck rifle cartridge and is the commercial cartridge from which the 7.62 by 5.1 millimeter NATO round was derived. The 308 Winchester was introduced in 1952. 2 years prior to the NATO adoption of the 7.62 by 5.1 NATO. Winchester branded the cartridge and introduced it to the commercial hunting market as the 308 Winchester. Winchester's Model 70, Model 100, and Model 88 rifles were subsequently chambered for the new cartridge. Since then, the 308 Winchester has become the most popular short-action big game hunting cartridge worldwide. It is also commonly used for civilian hunting, target shooting, metallic silhouette, which would be AR-500 steel targets from X-Steel Targets, bench rest target shooting, metal matches, military snipings. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Says Americans would define... No, I'm not going to read that one. Clay Harvey, an American gun writer. Who cares what Clay Harvey has?
His mom. His mom probably cares.
In Africa, the 308 Winchester is one of the most popular calibers among bushveld hunters and is used on anything from Duiker right up to the massive eland. Those are types of elks. And I know I'm saying the Duiker wrong. It's Duiker. Proponents of the hydrostatic shock theory contend that the 308 Winchester has sufficient energy to impact hydrostatic shock to living targets when rapidly expanding bullets deliver a high rate of energy transfer. So I'm getting all this from Wikipedia, so you guys can go to Wikipedia and do a little thing. But I want to do a little homage to the 308 since this is our 308th episode. And I like the 308. I've got several of my rifles. Marcus can probably see behind me. Well, actually, you can't because you're not on Skype anymore.
I can't, but if I could see, I'd see them.
Got a couple of my 308s. I've got a hunting 308 set up, and I've got a precision long range 308 set up. So I really enjoy the 308 round. It's one of my favorites. But then, of course, you get all these new derivatives, the 6.5s, the 6.8s that are being derived from the 308 these days. Let's see. The 338 Federal was actually born from the 308. The 243 Winchester, the 260 Remington, of course, the 7mm. A lot of people are big 7mm. They like that round. The Winchester Model 94 XTR. Then there's a 307, which we talked about last episode. A little bit about the 307 Winchester. And then the 356 Winchester. And the rimless 45 Raptor was introduced to provide a big bore cartridge for the AR-10 by combining the 308 Winchester with the 460 Smith & Wesson Magnum. That sounds like a beast.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. So, little 308 homage there before we wrap it up. But Marcus, tell everybody again, Modern Spartan Systems, where they can go.
Go to modernspartansystems.com. And then to get your 15% discount and 15% donation to support Camp Patriot, whatever you buy on there, we'll do that, is TL for Talking Lead, CP for Camp Patriot, and 15 for the 15%. So, yeah, you have modern Spartan systems, buy stuff, and the products are infinitely more valuable. I'm going to make a real quick point. I got a guy that did a barrel study, and he showed me actually, in 4-scope, and he got 4.5 times barrel. Not everybody's going to do this, so don't do that, but you will get more barrel life. So he got 4.5 times more barrel life on a match competition shooting barrel. And this was compared against one from the same lot. So when 1,000 rounds, he was at 4,500 rounds. And so I said, what's the value on that? He said he was doing it about $400 a barrel. He paid someone about $900. So, yeah, so our stuff is great value. Definitely use it. Oh yeah, and that's just the gun stuff. Our stuff gets better.
Absolutely. ModernSpartanSystems.com. Use that discount code TLCP15. Help support our worthy cause. Can't pay for it.
That's great. Thank you,
Marcus.
Thank you very much for having us on. I greatly appreciate it, and love you guys. All the leadheads are our kind of people. We're all unified in this.
Absolutely. So use that code LEADHEADS. Give to worthy cause. You're supporting this show as well. Make sure that you support all those that support the Talking Lead podcast. Right On Optics, Modern Spartan Systems, X Steel Targets, Kel-Tec Weapons, Dooley Defense, Glock, ASP, many more. Show them the love, and they're going to keep making sure that the Talking Lead podcast is coming to you guys free of charge every week and then some. But until then, Marcus, as always, lead heads, keep your loved ones close
and your firearms closer.